There we go. Hey everybody. As you come in, make sure you hit that like button. Please subscribe to this channel if you're interested. If you like my videos and want to keep watching and want more content from me, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button as you come in the door. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. We're going to be discussing some of the Orrin and Orson case tonight. I think that it's really important that we talk about more than just, you know, the Summer Wells case. Of course, any updates that I find on that, we'll be talking about that as well. But there's other children out here too that really need answers. Hey, is that Wind Answer? Hi, how are you? Hey, Jennifer. You guys hit that like button when you come in the door. We got 5 people in here, so wait for a couple more people to come. Wind Dancer, like it. I love it. Hello. Marlene. If I'm saying that wrong, I'm sorry. Hi, Lisa. Hey, Alberta. You guys hit that like button as you come in the door, and we'll wait for a couple more people to join before we start our discussion today. I hope everybody's doing okay. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Late Girl. Hey, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. How are y'all doing? I'm doing okay personally. Nothing's new. Nothing really. Just hanging in there. I hope you guys are doing good too. Jennifer, my mom is doing good. It seems like it's one thing after another though. So where they were poking her in her vein to get blood, apparently she's developed like a purple knot there, and it's warm to the touch. So they're concerned that it may be a blood clot. So they're going to do a vascular study on that to see if that is, and don't know what they would do if it is. But aside from that, she's doing good. Thank you for asking. Yes, I wanted to talk about these boys. I've been doing my research today, and I feel like we really need to get that out there. Hi, Royal Blue. Hope you're doing well as well. I'm doing fine. Yeah, girl, it's been one thing after another. Like I said, she before had to be intubated, and apparently they did something incorrectly, which is why she ended up having to have surgery to repair something they messed up. Now she's having to do a vascular study because she may have gotten a blood clot. And I don't know if it's anybody's fault per se, but it's been crazy. It's literally one thing after another. And I'm hoping that this is nothing serious and it just kind of goes away. Hi, Kay. Dawn. 6 are doing nothing. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. Patricia, I'm very happy that you're talking about the boys. Yes. These boys need to be talked about, guys. Like, this is a big deal too, and it's even crazier because they've been missing for so long now. Thank you, Royal Blue. Thank you for that. Yes, y'all hit that like button. We have 20 people in here, 21 and 10 likes. So we need a couple more likes before we get started. Not that we need likes or anything, but I just really want to wait for a couple more people to join because then I have to rehash everything. June, July, August. So actually 7 months now. Electronic medium, Summer Wells, Jesus cried. Okay. Hi, Stacy. Thank you. Hi, Melissa. Aw, thank you. That's so sweet. I'm glad somebody has. I'm glad you guys enjoy this. And I know that we don't really have a whole lot to talk about lately because let's be real, everything about the Summer Wells case has already been discussed on everybody's channel. And so at this point, it's like, you know, I'm trying to give you guys content, but I'm also trying to keep this about the children too, because I really do want these kids to be found. And you know, when everybody already talks about everything, it's kind of hard to find something to talk about sometimes. But I do enjoy, you know, getting on here and talking to you guys about it and hearing your side of the story, or what you think might have happened and things like that. So yeah, I'm new to your channel and I am enjoying your channel. Thank you so much. Yes, hit that like button, guys. I like the electric lady, but I think she's talking to quite a few people. A lot of it does make sense with Summer's case, though. It's crazy. Hi, Donna. Y'all have to check her page out. I haven't did that yet. All right, so who has heard about the Orrin and Orson West case? Has anybody been, or is anybody familiar with that case? It's two little boys who went missing, and it was like over 7 months ago that they went missing. Okay. So, we're going to just kind of, for everybody who's not really familiar with it, I'll just give you guys a little bit of a rundown from the information that I've collected. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to read a whole lot of comments because I'm going to be reading from this paper. I've been writing notes all day, just trying to gather information. So Orrin West was born on August 4th, 2016, and Orson West was born on June 11th, 2017. Both of the boys were last seen apparently wearing a black sweatshirt and gray sweatpants. Their biological mother, her name is actually Ryan Dean, and the boys' names originally, when they were born, were going to be Sincere and Classic. So that was the name that she had picked, the names that she had picked out for the boys. However, in 2018, the boys were placed in foster care in the system, and they were placed with Giselle and Jacqueline West. It was just too much on Mom. I think that Ryan, you know, and it was a brave thing for her to do, in my opinion, because a lot of the time people will not own up to that. They will not say, you know, I can't financially provide for these children. They will instead let them go without, which is really sad. Or in a lot of cases, as we see, sometimes they harm the children. And so, you know, it's been some really nasty things that have happened because people didn't want to give their children up when they didn't want them or when they weren't able to provide for them. And so I think in this case, it was not at all that Ryan Dean did not want her children, but I think that it was more so that she just wasn't able to give them the life that she wanted to give them, in my opinion. And that's why she, you know, placed them up for adoption, or not adoption, but they went to the foster care system. Thank you, Royal Blue. I appreciate that. Yeah, so Sincere and Classic, aka Orrin and Orson. That's their names. All right. So, that's annoying. All right, so let's see. Now, before Orrin and Orson were placed with Jacqueline and Giselle, they already had 4 kids, 2 of which were their biological children, and 2 of which were foster children. So they also lived at the time in Bakersfield, California, which is where Ryan Dean lived as well. But they moved shortly after that. They moved in September to California City, about an hour away from Bakersfield. So I'm not familiar with that area, but from some research I've done, it is about an hour away. So let's talk about what happened the night that the boys went missing. So apparently, the night that the boys went missing, Jacqueline, which is the foster mom, or now adoptive mom, Giselle, Orrin, and Orson were the only ones at the home, apparently, okay? And Jacqueline decided that she wanted to wrap some presents, and so she sent the boys out back of her house to just draw with chalk. Now, they weren't out there completely alone, because Giselle, which is the husband, he was actually running back and forth from the front to the back of the house, getting firewood and bringing it back. So the boys were out back. So you have your house, and it has a privacy fence around it. And the privacy fence has a gate, and the gate is a metal gate, and it shuts, but it locks from the outside. So if it locks from the outside, it locks from the side that's closest to the front of the house. Okay. And so they weren't out there alone, but they were out there with the dad, from what I've read. And the dad was running in and out. Okay. So I'm not completely sure if this is the story that everybody is getting, but that's the story that I got from the research that I've done. And a lot of it doesn't really make sense, and we'll get to, you know, that, but let's stop and read some of these comments. Their story's been off since the first interview. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you dig into this one. Yeah, oh, definitely, I am. This is just the beginning. This is just the first coat. This is just the first coat for me. This is just the first part that I have really done my research on. I was never brought up that way, and I wouldn't have never had a child if I knew I could not provide. I'm on a video, and I don't mind you doing that, but you really need to keep the noise down, okay, babies? All right, so are you trying to be loud intentionally? All right, put that in trash, baby. Thank you. Okay, so let's see here. So apparently she was wrapping gifts, and she didn't want the boys to see, from what I've heard. And she sent them outside to just draw with chalk and play out back. Now Dad, which is Ginzel, is running in and out, you know, the gate, apparently, allegedly. And he is getting firewood and bringing it back. Okay, so the gate shuts each time, according to him. The gate shuts each time, and he knew the boys were safe because they were in the privacy fence. Well, the last time that he was bringing the firewood back, he realized, allegedly, that the gate was not shut. And once he realized that the boys were no longer back there, apparently he panicked. And he was yelling for them and searching for them. And he went into the house, and him and his wife both started searching for the boys. This is what he said. I realized I left the back gate open, and I panicked. I came inside the house and searched the house. Me and my wife both did. Once that didn't pan out, I got into the van. I looked down the street in both directions. It was getting dark and getting cold. So he says that he was he said it was getting dark and cold outside, and him and his wife panicked. So allegedly they looked for the boys for about 20 minutes, and then after that they called the police. So when they filed a police report, they let them know that the boys were missing, and then the police came. The police report was filed at about 5:43 p.m. from my research. And we're going to pause right there, read some comments. Nothing against you, just my opinion. I agree. I have 2 sons and would never have allowed anyone else but me to raise them. And I can understand that. I mean, I guess what I was saying more so is that I would rather you give your children up to someone who can provide for them and take care of them, as opposed to letting them be in a dangerous situation or letting them go without, basically. So even if, you know, of course, don't have children until you're ready. But if you do have children and, you know, you're not able to provide for them, then the right thing to do would be to allow someone else to provide for them, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Like, don't lay down and have kids intentionally if you're not going to take care of them. They were playing with chalk, and there was a puppy, but no sidewalk chalk. Seen in picture. Is the dog named Chalk? Good question. Maybe I misunderstood that. Is the dog named Chalk? That's a good question. I mean, you know, you have to wonder if there was no chalk seen in the picture. Adoption is better than abortion. 100%, in my opinion, you are correct. In my opinion. There's a lot of people who don't. It's sad. Yeah, it is very sad. I agree. So after that, Ginzel and Jacqueline, they went home searching for the boys, from what I read, all night, but they were not able to find anything. During this time, the police searched multiple houses. They brought in many different dogs, search dogs, cadaver dogs, and Authorities even dug up Giselle and Jacqueline's backyard. Is that what you guys took away from that? Because that's what I've read, is that they dug up the backyard to see if the boys were back there, there was any evidence, and they didn't find anything at all. The dogs. Yeah, I'm confused as well. So maybe it wasn't actual Chalk. Maybe it was a dog named Chalk. But anyway, so again, they found nothing. However, oddly enough, the search dogs did pick up Orrin and Orson's scent. However, remember how we said that Orrin and Orson were allegedly outside playing right before all this took place? They were out back. Well, the dogs picked up the scent in the house. They didn't pick up the scent outside. Okay, they did dig up a few spots and did the stick in a lot of those places. Okay, good. Yes, it is crazy. She was working hard for those boys. There was accidents at daycare. That's why they was removed from biomom. Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like the biological mother, you know, in my opinion, she really did care. And I feel like, you know, sometimes as women, especially if you're not fortunate and you weren't brought up in a wealthy home, we can struggle to make ends meet, and it can be very hard on us mentally and emotionally, especially knowing that you're not able to provide. And I'm not talking about the ones who are drug addicts or, you know, always drinking alcohol and partying with their friends and just not wanting to be parents. I'm talking about the ones who legit try and want to do the best they can for their kids. No, she is not the biological mother. The biological mother's name is Ryan Dean. The lady on the interview, that is Jacqueline, and she is the adoptive mom. She was a foster mom, but they adopted the boys. All right, so again, they found nothing, but it was odd to them how the dogs were able to pick up the scent inside of the house, but they did not pick up the scent outside. But allegedly, the boys were outside when they were last seen. So that was a little bit of a red flag. And now the police chief claims that it isn't 100%. It's like a hit or miss with the dogs. So it could have been right, it could have been wrong. So that's what they said. The police got search warrants for everybody in the house, but they found nothing for everybody's phones and things like that. But they weren't able to find anything according to the research that I've done. They also did a luminol test inside their vehicle, and again, nothing at all. So now, some of the neighbors that they had spoken to, apparently they said they never recalled they never even knew that the children lived there. And they couldn't even recall, you know, who they were by a picture. So I found that to be a little bit weird as well. Let's see the comments. There's a question as to if the two youngest kids were even seen at all once the house was moved to the new house. Right, exactly. Where is the biological father? That's a good question. I have not seen anything about the biological father. So that is a good question. I don't know. She's seen sketch, and so did like, I think they had those masks on during the interview to try to hide their face. Nothing about COVID, just in my opinion. You could be right. All these kids going missing, and it's crazy. It's like the case ends up cold. Exactly, Alberta. I completely agree. I have a funny feeling the case will be cold with summer. I agree. It's very sad, and you know, it's like, what can we do, you know? Like, these children have to stop going missing. Like, if you see all these kids missing and you have children, then that should make you want to step it up a little bit and just be extra cautious. I know that stuff happens, but come on, there's too many of them missing. So where are we at? So last thing I said was that the police also went to Bakersfield, where Jacqueline and Giselle used to live, to see if they could find anything, but once again, they found nothing. And just to give you all an idea of how many people were on this case, it has been said that there were over 50 FBI agents, and even Bakersfield Police Department They took over the case since that's where the boys were originally from, and the chief felt like that was the right thing to do since that was their home. So they took on the case as well. In most missing person cases, it is at least a year before any changes are brought forward. Yeah. And that's the sad thing, is like, why does it take so long, you know? Yeah, we need to find out who the biological dad is. That's a good question. I couldn't even find his name. And maybe it's because I was just getting the overall story first before I got any deeper. So now let's talk about the security footage. And you guys may have, if you've done your research on this case, you've probably heard about it. Apparently, the security camera footage, it came from a neighbor, and it is either Jacqueline or Giselle. I don't think that they had a clear answer as to which parent it was, but opening the van door and letting 4 of their children in the van. And remember, they have 6 total. Well, Orrin and Orson were not in that security footage. And yeah, and then later on, Jacqueline and Giselle were seen coming back home, but this time they were alone. So the boys, Orrin and Orson, still were not with Giselle and Jacqueline when they arrived back home. So apparently the 4 other kids, 2 of the foster kids and their other 2 biological children, went to the grandmother's house, and that's where they were at. So the question is where were the boys? Hi, Susie. How are you? So that's that was a red flag for, I think, a lot of people. We started to wonder at that point, where were the boys at? Why were they not going to grandma's house too? There was 2 foster children that went over there. So why weren't Orrin and Orson? I mean, maybe it's because they were just a handful. I know that my kids can be a handful sometimes. So it's very possible. But, you know, you have to wonder. And where were they at since they weren't with them? Why didn't they ride with them to drop the other kids off? You know, during this time, the searches continue, but still nothing was found. Once Orrin and Orson's biological mother heard about the boys missing, she came straight to California City the next day. So she was very concerned, and this is a quote, this is what she said. She said, "I just had to be here because my babies are supposedly missing from this house." Okay, and then later on, she also said, quote, "They did something. I feel like my kids are somewhere around here. I can feel it." End of quote. So right off the bat, Ryan Dean, that's the biological mother, she felt like the boys were in danger. She felt like the family who had the boys had something to do with it. Yes, me too. I want to see the video as well. I was actually trying to pull it up. How long were the boys with this adoptive family? Were they in foster care with the same family? Yes, they were in foster care with the same family, and then they were adopted by this family. So let's see. And it's just in 2018, that's what I've written down. If anybody has the answer to that, do you have an exact date or, you know, month or so? I just have that in 2018, the boys were placed in the foster care system. And yeah, so I don't have the exact date, but that is a good question. I'm going to get more information on that as well. But all right, so yeah, the biological mother automatically felt like something wasn't right. She said she felt like her boys were there, or at least around that area. So around this time, John Walker, he actually said that Jacqueline and Giselle were continuing to be cooperative with the police. But when he was asked if they had already taken a polygraph test, he declined to answer that because he said that it would interfere with their investigation. So he never answered the question. Hey, Ken. Yes, we have to get the word out about these boys. That's a good question. I'm not sure where the biological father is. If anybody knows, put that in the chat below. It was said by someone in the comments. I know that they had said that she was struggling financially and she wasn't able to take care of them, is what I had read. But someone else said that it was an incident that happened at the daycare that caused them to be pulled out of the home. So I'm not completely sure what the real answer is, but from what I've read, it was just that she wasn't able to care for them. And so they were placed into foster care, and at that point, then the foster parents adopted the children. Yes, yes, definitely. Luann, yes. I mean, you know, they don't deserve this. I have their picture on my laptop and I keep looking at it because it's like, where are they? You know, just like Summer. What can I help you with?
We saw Peyton.
Okay, go play. I'll talk to you about that when I get off. I'm on live right now, baby. I will talk to you about that when I get off. Okay, so I will talk to you in just a few minutes, okay? All right. Let's see. Yeah, we don't know if they've taken polygraph tests, if they failed, if they passed. We have no idea at this point. He also said that Giselle and Jacqueline's other 4 children are currently being placed in the foster care system. And this is apparently like protocol when something like this happens. So it's not abnormal for them to be displaced from the home after something like this happens if they're being looked into. Hey Mindy, finally made it live. LOL. Hey everyone. Yay. Hot Impressions by Angie. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing good. And thank you for subscribing. How many kids were in foster care home? So apparently they had 4 foster children and they have adopted 2 from what I've read. There's no such thing as a perfect crime. And I know a crime with someone missing is harder. But how are the parents getting away with these for so long? Good question. Good question. I have no clue. That's a really good question. CPS needs to be held more accountable. 100% Ken. 100%. Hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button, everybody. When you come in, hit the like button. As well as the parents, of course. Yes, agreed. There's empty lots near them. Good question, Dawn. Those beautiful boys, I pray they are found. Yes, I do too. Work for CPS. I'm not sure. Another accident cover-up. You know what? That's what I was wondering as well, is maybe an accidental cover-up. That's just like the Summer Wells case. I feel like, and I'm not trying to get off track here, not too far off track. We're almost done from the research I've done today. Wrote all these notes just to talk for that long. But I feel like, you know, the Summer Wells case may also have been an accident and it was a cover-up. In my, you know, I feel like that happens too often. And it's because of neglect in some cases, and in some cases it's because they're just putting themselves first and not thinking about their child. If they've done nothing wrong, then it shouldn't be any serious charges anyway, you know, if they've done what they were supposed to do. And CPS is a joke. I completely agree, because there have been too many kids that have slipped through the cracks and it costed them their life when all they had to do was their job. So, the latest update that I have is on March 12th, there was a search warrant on the adoptive grandmother for the boys, but I have yet to hear anything regarding that warrant and what was the outcome. Also, still today, on the 21st day of every month, apparently the children's biological families are holding a prayer vigil for the boys and say that they're not giving up hope. So that's where we're at with this. And I plan to do a lot more research on the boys and to find out more information regarding them, to see, you know, if we can dig a little deeper. Right here is DCF. I can't stand them. I think they snag kids for money and also don't check on them. 100%. They really don't. And not enough. I mean, if you guys are familiar with, and I watched this entire trial from the first day, part 1, day 1, all the way until the end of the trial when the sentence was taking place. The Anaya Day case, Amani Moss, and I can name a lot more. But it's, what was that other little girl's name? Hold on, I'm going to pull it up right now. This one really, really bothered me. Rosenbaum, Jennifer Rosenbaum. Do y'all know what case I'm talking about? Oh, what was the little girl's name? It's been a long time. Layla, oh my goodness. That one also, Layla Marie. So I don't know if y'all remember or if you've ever heard of the Rosenbaum trial, but yeah, I mean, it's horrible. And she took these children in to take care of them, and then she literally abused this little girl. Just like so many others, Amani Moss was starved to death. She was starved to death. She's a 10-year-old little girl, and CPS had been contacted numerous times. The stepmom, I guess we'll call her, she is a stepmom, but Tiffany Moss was actually, you know, beating this child with belts, and the only thing she basically got was a slap on the wrist for it. Meanwhile, they kept her in the house. The little girl kept running away, trying to save her own life. She kept running away, trying to save her own life, and ended up getting starved to death and dying. So, you know, it's too often that CPS fails these children, and it's not right. And I feel like they should be held accountable when something like this happens. Personally, I feel like whoever the worker was and the system altogether should be held accountable. Do not. Don't make a mess either, okay? The baby, the parents put him in a well too. Yep, that baby as well, yeah. There was actually a child who was put in a well near where I live, about maybe a couple hours away, and that was horrible. But there's so many people that neglect children, and they don't do what they're supposed to do, and they continue to get by with it. And even if the child makes it out and is alive, like, thank God, but CPS needs to step it up a lot. It's not fair, you know, it's just not right. Biological mother was not abusive. The law enforcement and courts did not notify her with the case court date. She didn't go because she wasn't notified. CPS and the police are corrupt. Agreed, Grace, 100%. So she said that the biological mother was not abusive. The law enforcement and courts did not notify her with the case court date. She didn't go because she wasn't notified. CPS and the police are corrupt. 100% agreed. That's just dirty. Wow. And then the James Riker case, James Riker Bill, is that his name? Yeah, that's horrible. And I don't know if you guys had a chance to to watch that, but if you haven't, maybe we'll discuss that one tomorrow or something. That's crazy. Let me look that up. I mean, that case was just terrible. Yeah, you could be right, Stacey. I agree. Was that the case you told us about the other day, Mindy? I couldn't remember the name. Yes. James Riker Bill. I'm telling y'all, if you listen to the story, it's going to break your heart. Have tissues, because I'm not a crier usually, but I'll tell you one thing. When I watched that interview with the mom, she told the story from beginning to end, and it broke my heart. Like, really, really broke my heart. It's on Unmasked. Everybody failed her. Everybody in the system failed her and that child, in my opinion. And it was so terrible because there was so much evidence that the dad was abusive. He had even admitted to doing nasty things to the mother, like with force. Okay, can't say much, but she had text messages proving all of that. And despite all of that, they continue to allow the children, both of the children, to be with dad. And yeah, oh yeah, it was really, really bad. And oh my gosh, it was so terrible. It was terrible. Next lady, I wrote it down. It's like the case where the lady was so scared if her ex she drowned her baby that interview him. Oh man, I haven't seen that one. I'm gonna have to look that up. That's I'm gonna write that down. So what is it? It's the this case. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. That's terrible. Okay. Yes. That petition needs to be signed to get that dad where he needs to be. Agreed. That there is a petition that everybody here can go sign. Just go to Unmasked channel and watch that interview and you will see it. I don't know where the petition is at now. I did do it, but hold on. Drown her 2 kids. The best way to find interrogation. Okay, I'm going to do that. Drowns her 2 kids. Okay, I'm going to do that. That's terrible. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so it was really bad. It was really, really bad. These babies, these poor babies, you look at their little pictures and it is just not fair. I'm going to show y'all a picture of James Riker Bill. This is him. This is him right here. There he is. Precious. Precious, precious, beautiful. Just look at that little smile. How could anybody? It's terrible. So apparently, so what the title on this one says is that 2-year-old James Riker Bill dies under suspicious circumstances, but police won't investigate even after the 2nd autopsy. Does that not sound strange? They won't investigate even after a 2nd autopsy? Adults need to leave their poor children alone. Yes, agreed. Oh, one of the hardest interviews I've ever seen, Mindy. Yeah, it's in the description box, the Royal Blue said. So you guys go check that out on Unmasked. Be prepared, it's heavy. Oh, I'm going to have to watch that tonight now. I think I've seen the picture of that precious baby. Yes, he is so sweet, so precious. And I feel so bad for the mom because, man, she's been through it. Like, she has really been through it. And it warns you right here. It says, prepare to get angry, you guys. We've seen DCS failures before. We've seen cases in which one parent is treated unfairly by the family court system. And we've seen cases in which the police are either inept or corrupt. Rarely do we see a case in which all of those things took place simultaneously, and very rarely do we see one as... What are you doing? Sorry, hold on one second. Okay, what are you doing on Nana's computer? Okay, so it says very rarely do we see one as infuriating as this case. So, you really need to go watch it, honestly. Like, I can't even, it's so long, but it's so worth watching because he needs justice and she needs justice, and it's really disgusting what happened to that baby. Be ready. Like, if you're one of those people who can't handle details, then be careful going into this because it's very detailed what happened to him. And, it was just absolutely horrible. The dad has 50. The dad still has 50% custody of the little girl. Are you serious? Wow. Wow. So apparently the dad still has 50% custody after everything that's happened. No, King, you've seen nothing yet. Wait till you watch this interview. When you come back here tomorrow, I'm sure you're gonna have a lot to talk about. Maybe we'll do something. You know, maybe I can somehow get that uploaded here, that interview. I don't know if I'm able to do that, but if I can get that interview uploaded here somehow, I will. But you guys go watch Unmasked channel. It's on there. I'm telling you. Parents for the boys. Yes. Yes, Monkey and Summer and Orrin and Orson and baby James. Like, come on. Hey, everybody. Hi, Shannon. Aw. Hit that subscribe button. Well, you can always rewatch if you feel like you missed everything, but we were just basically talking about the Orrin and Orson case. I'm pretty new to it, so I was trying to cover it, at least get the first layer of the story done. But obviously it's a lot more that we should be looking into. Yes, he was a beautiful little boy. He sure was. Yeah, the police, I definitely feel that they covered up for him in this case, because there's no way that they could possibly think that that dad was innocent when he owned up to it and said it out of his own mouth that he did what he did. It's disgusting. There's no other way to describe what he did to that baby. Oh, thank you, Dawn. There's a little girl missing. She's 4 and autistic, nonverbal, can't think of her name. Oh, if you do think of her name, let me know so we can talk about that as well and get the word out there. Yes, thank you, mods, for doing that. I did think, yeah, she was found, wasn't she? Someone said yesterday in the chat that the little girl that was 4 years old and autistic was found. So I have to double check on that and see if she was found. I mean, there was text messages right here, and you can even go online and research it. You can read the text messages between dad and mom, and he was admitting to all the things that he did to her. You got to go watch it. I'm telling you guys. It will turn your stomach, though. I will warn you. So, anyways, so is there any new updates on Summer Wells? Does anybody know? I've been doing this case today, so I haven't really had time. Oh, Grace, yes, most definitely. It's for these babies. They need justice. It's not fair to them. Yeah, still no updates. Cupcake, yep, I remember that case. You know, I watched that on Stephanie Harlow's channel. I love her channel too. On Stephanie Harlow's channel, let's look up that update. What are y'all doing? Camille. My goddaughter's name is Camille. It's so sad. Hold on. Yeah, me either. I mean, and then someone, I was watching a video earlier where apparently Candace was crying at the prayer visual thing, and when, I guess it was Robin, I'll post that video later if I can get around to it, but where Robin was talking to her, or saying a prayer with her or whatever, but You know, I haven't seen many tears from her, and I don't know how to feel about that family in particular because of the way that they've carried this whole situation. Yes, same here. I'm glad they're covering the area again. I feel like they need to. Something is not right. I feel like her case is going to be solved too. It might take some time, but I do feel like it will be solved eventually. Don, when does he stop talking? Yeah, same here. Yes, thanks everybody. Thank you guys for all being here. Does anyone know if the now have an active Amber Alert globally for Summer Moon Utah Wells? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. Guys, I'm on a live. You know that. Sorry, my children are playing and being kind of loud. They always want to play where I'm at. They both have bedrooms, but they would rather play in my living room. Tells parents to stay off of Facebook. Yeah, I mean, they clearly tell you to stay off of social media and not put all your business out there for a reason. And there's some people who just don't listen. So, you know, what can you do? Why would they cancel it? That's crazy. All right, guys, so I'm about to end this live. I am going to do more research and we'll have more to talk about tomorrow. I'm going to go watch that video that Ken told me to watch because I really want to watch that now. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Yes, you too, Julie. Hope you guys have a good night. Yes, everybody go sign that petition on Unmasked channel for James Riker Bill. He really, because that little girl does not need to be in her dad's care any longer. He needs to be behind bars. You guys have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everybody.